Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we jump onto the charts on this fine Wednesday, July 16th, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube and wherever else we're streaming for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like Top 1 Futures, Bookmap, Code RDF, and others. Let's hop on to the charts now that we got that out of the way. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, apps. Good morning, Chuck. What is happening, y'all? What's happening? Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on this morning here as we continue to consolidate around all-time highs here on the U.S. indices. Pretty interesting move yesterday, selling off after that big push to the upside. Just been really creating these trendy type NYSE sessions while we're chopping here on the higher time frame. Go ahead and throw the banner up. We are looking at, just so you guys know what we're looking at, we are looking at Top 1 Futures here on Project X. This is the Project X platform. Top 1 Futures being instant funded, straight to funded accounts. You guys can check that out if you'd like. Link in the chat, pinned, should be everywhere. I'll throw it in X for you guys in just a minute. But we are coming into the open right now, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Let's get a little higher time frame analysis rolling here. Again, we are on ES. This is the S&P futures contract. I'm going to be looking at trading this 7-pack of straight to funded 150Ks that I've been trading live with you guys. Kind of back and forth in these, honestly. Obviously, you guys are watching it play out live, so recently a couple L's. Not super excited running them back down, but we'll see what we can do. Take what the market gives me. Attempting to adapt a little bit, adjust with these intraday trailing drawdowns. Find a good balance between letting trades run too far into profit and clipping them too early. So let's take a look and see. Obviously, price action up here is very choppy. Very, very choppy, right? If we zoom out, we know we've been trending to the upside since the end of this kind of craziness in April. We've really just been pushing all the way up through all-time highs, and we've since been chopping here, right? We've got a pretty clean, if we look at this, right? Day over day, going back to right the beginning of the month, the opening of the month here, we've really been setting up a nice range, right? If you just look at the top of these daily candles, of course, we got some stuff in the middle here, but the bottom of this range where we kind of tested here first a couple times with some highs, popped into it. We got highs up here, top end of this range being like the 63.20s to that high that we put in yesterday, 63.43. The low end of this range, looking at this down to the 62.50s, right? 62.60s. You could even see the daily closures on ES. It's one thing about ES, very, very cleanly respecting levels. I mean, take a look at that prior day low that we've got and what these candles are looking like here. So choppy, rangy conditions, but this is a pretty wide area, right? So it's what I'm saying, in between for New York sessions, right? We could get a really big trend day to the downside within that range. Maybe not really big, but within that, that range when we're trading here on the 1-minute chart. So taking a look at what we had in the overnight session, obviously yesterday, big down day after big pop-up on NVIDIA and then climb all the way up, pushing higher, pushing higher, pushing higher. We test VWAP, looking like we're trying to break out. And then we end up selling off. This looked like it was going to retest and push to the upside, so I was getting long on this. Obviously, you could see how that played. It was a great day for shorts yesterday. Today, overnight session, we've kind of chopped here, right, through the overnight session, opening up right over here. Nothing too crazy. We definitely sold off really aggressively right into the open of London. This is the 3 a.m. time frame, right? And then immediately pop back up, back above VWAP, and we've held that. 8:30 a.m. we had news. What was this? We could take a look at this together. 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we had news. This was PPI news, right? So market did seem to like that. We popped on that, and we've since been kind of trailing back lower. Nothing too crazy here looking at... Sorry, guys, just checking the stream. Nothing too crazy here looking at the news for the rest of the day, right? 10 a.m. we got another FOMC member speaking. Crude oil inventories, again, that's a low impact, but that could provide a little bit of volatility. Nothing too crazy. Tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. again, and then Friday we got a little bit at 10 a.m. That might cause some action, but nothing too crazy for the rest of the day. This PPI was perceived nice and bullishly, right? We pushed bullishly. We pushed to the upside here. Really followed through, chopped around this high, and now are testing this overnight high multiple times. This is our overnight high that I've got right at the 6,300 level, right? Big round psychological number. So is it just going to be off to the races? We're at a level here, right? This is a key level. If you just take a look at zoomed out, price action and market structure from the 15, this is our whole zone, right? This is our whole area coming back through to July 3rd. Look at the highs that have been put in here, right? Up above this area, the lows down around this area, right? Multiple times. So we're kind of right in between that. And right there is that 6,300, big round psychological number that these U.S. indices, love to return to test, to do business at, right? For one reason or another. I don't have to clarify. I just recognize a pattern and state it as I see it. So looks like we might want to pull back down to VWAP. I don't know that we do. This is looking kind of strong. We really didn't pull right back down on this news. So let's go back to the 1 minute here. We really didn't sell right back off on this news here, right? Oftentimes we crack to the upside, maybe go and test the high, and then kind of come right back down. We didn't do that. We really held up here. We opened up, cracking above this level. We're kind of just chopping here. Interested to see if we are really going to pull back down aggressively. Looks like we might try these lows, but, so far we're just kind of chopping up here. Nothing too crazy. First couple minutes of this open. Nice under a 10-point range. So do we pull back down towards VWAP, right? Come back down to 62.85s, retest that. Do we completely erase this move, come all the way back down, to yesterday's low where we were hanging out here near this open, around the close of yesterday? Right? This is around the close of yesterday. I think we closed all the way down near that low, right? You can see it on the daily candle. Yeah, right down here. There's a small wick down there, but, or do we just blast off, right? That's so, again, I try not to come into the day with a bias. I'm being a little bit more cautious hitting the sell button because these markets really have been strong, but as you can see, zoomed out up here, we're kind of chopping, right? A little bit choppy. So we'll see what the market's got for us. As you guys know, if you've been on here before, I like to hang out a bit, let the market open up. I try not to rush anything in the first, 5 to 10 minutes of the open, especially after we got structure like this. This could be a little bit difficult to trade. I don't know, if you're looking to get long on this, this is probably a decent opportunity. If you say, hey, we're not going to pull back down to VWAP, we're going to blast off from here, that's your trade thesis. Stop down below this level would invalidate that, and it's off to the races. We're headed back up to the 63.25s, maybe go test prior day high. If you're looking short on this bad boy, this obviously presents you a cheap short. If you are wrong and we go trade through, let's say the 63, 10s, 10 points higher, you're dead wrong. We're not just selling right back off to VWAP. So this is not a bad spot to get involved if you have a bias coming right into today and you want to trade off this structure. I think if we start to take off from here, it's going to be difficult to find a continuation trade, right? We start trading a whole lot higher than this. Where are you going to place a stop loss that would say we're wrong and it's not just a pullback? So, we are far from VWAP right now. So this does present some interesting structure to trade off of. Not terribly far, but far enough after a news pop like that and a trend higher. So let's see. Let's see what we got. We are looking at... Yeah, I'm not going to jump into anything too quick. Looking at Bookmap, there's really not too much craziness on the book today above or below price. Once we start getting away from the 5 or 10 points right around price, until we get down to the 62. Where is this? 62.25 or 62.28? Yeah, so we got quite a bit all the way down below prior day low, coming down here to the 62.60, 62.55s. But we got a big stack, 1,000 lots on the book at 62.27. Sorry, I'm going to zoom in just so I can see this on Bookmap because it is far away, so I have to scroll down and then zoom way in. And you guys can see this on a DOM if you have, if you have NBO level 2 data. 62.28 on ES. We have 1,023 lots sitting on the book. Somebody is way interested in some buys way down below current price, anticipating maybe a wick down there, and looking for some buys off that level. Before that, which is the most prominent level on Bookmap. Again, Bookmap just is really a depth of market displayed in a heat map. So looking on the DOM to the downside, 62.60s. If we started to sell off really aggressively, we start to get thick down there. 125 on the book at 62.60. Another 100 in between that and 62.55. We got 100 there. We got some at the 50s, right? 62.50s, big round psychological number. Above price, looking to the upside, would be back above, all the way up around that 63.15s. We got a little bit just up above here, above price, right? That would be a nice little wick up above. But we do start getting thick up around the 40s and 50s. 62.30, there's some, so nothing crazy stand out. We're talking 100 on the book, up at 63.40. 130 on the book, up at 63.50. So we'll look at Bookmap together in a minute, but nothing too crazy up here till we got all the way back up around this high, where we have some sell orders resting up there. So outside of that, it's not like we got a big stack up down here right around VWAP where we got heavy buy interest. Nothing screaming at me like that. But right now, starting to frame a trade idea. Man, this looks bullish. Initially, gun to my head, I do think we pull back a little bit. I don't see us just taking off right from here. Could certainly happen. I think the buys off of VWAP could absolutely be a good play. It's not my specific setup, just using VWAP. And I don't have a beautiful level to the downside right now. It would really have to be below that prior day low level. So I'm going to be in wait-and-see mode for right now. Going to be wait-and-see mode. We are just rounding the first 10 minutes of the open. Yeah, I'd have to see what happens as we come back down around VWAP, if we come back down around VWAP. Again, I'm somewhat long. There we go, starting to break this low. Somewhat long, looking long coming into this. We do have a nice positive CVD, right? Obviously, on this push to the upside, we got volume behind that. So if we started to drop off really aggressively, really aggressively, could potentially look for a short play, but I'm looking for a nice deep pullback to start looking long on this thing. That's really what I was looking at yesterday, right? And I had to take an L on that, but I'm looking at something similar today. Start to push to the upside. I'm going to be looking for levels above, looking at what's happening on Bookmap, but nothing too crazy right off the open here. But good morning, chat. What's happening? I am sick as all hell this morning, even though maybe I sound okay. My voice doesn't sound terrible. Summer cold. I don't know who the hell gets sick on the middle of July, but here we are. Good morning, Apps. Good morning, Chuck. Wolf, what's up? Aaron, what's up? Scott, what's up? Crazy open on YM. I'll have to take a look at that, Scott. Let's see. Wolf's on Uber duty today. He's got to take his wife somewhere. NQ cleared the PPI candle low. Ooh, did it. NQ sold off aggressively. Yeah, it did. NQ came way down. ES holding much stronger. And taking a look at YM on a second screen, also holding much stronger. NQ showed some weakness, got all the way back down to VWAP, cracked below, and is now pulling back up. So let's see what we got down here. See what we get today, peeps. Nice move. What's up? Ralph? What's happening? Good morning. So what's happening, guys? What's happening? Sorry, Zach. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a cold, right? I don't mean to complain, but it's worth noting if I sound like, dog crap. That's the reasoning behind it. Can't really do anything about that. I try to stay healthy. I run quite a bit. I sometimes I think I take it too far. That's the other side, right? You kind of overdo it. But appreciate you guys hopping on. I'll show you this screen real quick. We got 50K account giveaways coming up this week. We haven't done one yet. It is Wednesday. Might be a good day to hang out on stream. I don't know. We never really know, right? There's a whole team behind this. It's not just me and a couple people hanging out on YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. But we're giving away 50K accounts on this stream live every week. If you guys want to check out Top 1 Futures while we're waiting for this market to start to open up, best deal is going to be code RDF. Better than the email, better than the website, the Discord, all the promotions. Always going to get you a better deal. Code RDF is it. 45% off the Sim Pro, straight to funded Sim Pro accounts. The more difficult intraday trailing drawdown with ESS and the Elite Challenges. You can copy trade up to 7 of those bad boys right now. If you want the, in my opinion, easier to work with end of day trailing drawdown, no ESS score, just a standard 20% consistency. 30% off for those bad boys with code RDF. Remember, guys, I'm partnered. I'm affiliated. I can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. So you guys got to do your own research. Make your own decisions. Make your own trading decisions. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, so... let me go back to my main screen here. NQ really erased that news move. Interesting, man. Interesting. You know, again, I'm not the correlation trader, right? I just don't find that I was ever really able to make that work. It was kind of information overload. But it is interesting to watch. I was running. I'm trading NQ pre-market in London. You guys saw a lot of that over the last couple weeks. I was wanting to hop on live, but I'm just dead tired this week to be able to jump on super early in the morning, you know, and run a stream. So I'll probably be running some more next week. I said it would be tentative. We'll see how I'm feeling, but I definitely want to hop on pre-market and trade a little bit of those slower markets on NQ. But really, really simple back to VWAP type plays. Have been paying. I took some L's on Monday. I was red across all 3 of those accounts that I was trading. Yesterday and today, looking like it's going to be a full profit day, which is pretty sweet. You know, really just trading from an extreme in pre-market back towards VWAP, back towards an area of high volume on the chart, key level. If that presents itself, it's a really simple play. Really wide stop loss, wide take profit. I've been doing it with some MNQs, micros, just so I have, you know, more flexibility. But it's been working pretty well, as long as we don't just rocket in the direction that we're hanging out at, which will happen, right? It could present a nice opportunity. So I used to do that a lot on Dow. That was actually my conversation for the Top 1 Academy thing. Really, really simple trade setup for people to go and back test is just a back to VWAP play on Dow. The Dow loves volume play. And similarly to how I trade ES, right? The theory is the same. The pattern that I'm looking for is the same. So that's what we're getting right now, right? Selling off these highs would have been paying all the way back down to VWAP here. Not my setup to take a stupid aggressive sell 5 minutes into the open after we're pushing higher bullish, you know, through news right back to VWAP. But it is a cheap trade, right? And if your thesis is the opposite, we're about to take off, this is a good setup for a long. So this is somewhat of a decision-making point, right? Sometimes we are just doing this, right? We're just chopping at VWAP, where I'd say, I don't know that this is a great decision-making point. I don't know that you want to buy or sell here. I'd probably wait for some level to be tested, you know, something a little bit cleaner. This up here, right off the 6,300s, right, that's a level, right? And oftentimes we see consolidation at these areas, and then, you know, high volume movements, right? Higher volatility coming out of these areas because that's what's going on. There's a fight getting put up between buyers and sellers, right? That auction that's going on. Somebody takes control. You know, one side overpowers the other, and we go and drive price up higher, looking, you know, for the opposite. So kind of what we're seeing here. Drifting lower. Drifting lower. Yeah, not on a ton of volume. We had a little bit as we started to come down. Right in here, we had a little bit traded. Not a ton of orders sitting one side or the other. This could be an interesting day here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got, family. Yeah, I want to see what happens down around VWAP, right? We're coming down looking like we want to test VWAP. I'm not going to get long right off of this. I'm interested to see what happens if we come lower, if we sell all the way off, down around these low 70s. We start to get some liquidity down there, a little bit more around the 75, so I could see that for a potential area. I'm going to be waiting to see what happens a little bit more today. We don't have any big standout level on my chart that I'm really looking for until we get way lower or way higher. So this is going to be a little bit of a wait and see type of movement as we come down into one of these areas. But what's going on, guys? Sigging a shot of NyQuil, Breakfast of Champions. Scott, what's going on? Good morning, guys. What's up, Mr. Emojis? What's happening? What's going on, guys? What's happening? Back down through VWAP. Yeah, let's see what happens. So selling off through VWAP. I'm not looking to long right off of VWAP today or really any day. I think VWAP is a great line in the sand to pay attention to. It's certainly a key area. If we knife through this like the way that we are right now, ooh, and we're dropping off on Delta here now. We opened up at 930, and really the CVD high was right around that, almost 7,000 for me. Anchored to quite a bit before. Let's see, anchored to the 6 a.m. time frame. We're dropping off down to 3,000 now. That's a pretty nice slice, even just looking at price action and volume on the candlestick chart. Pretty nice slice through VWAP here. So do we find buyers right down here really aggressively looking to break this thing back up long? Could absolutely see that. Let's take a look at yeah, NQ looking weak. NQ paid on those today. NQ paid on my shorts today for sure. NQ looking nice and weak down here. Wow. Take a look at YM for you guys. Again, it's not something that I really take into consideration in my trading, but of course, I'm sure we got traders from all over taking a look at different markets. YM was looking real bullish through this morning and sold all the way off down here. Get back to ES. Fix VWAP. Remember, got to scroll back out on VWAP. This is looking interesting. Good morning, good evening. Depends on where you're from. 100%. Made 350 on the drop. Aggressive trailing. Stop hit. Done for the day. Beautiful, Wolf. Getting in on these momentum moves, Wolf. I like that. As soon as you start to see a nice drop, I was snoozing. I'd be losing. No. So yeah, I'm waiting to see as we come lower, man. I don't know. Do we totally just continue this move to the downside and we start to sell off today? Finding some buyers right here. I'm still looking long on this, guys. Till we get way lower. I don't really have a beautiful level here. Back to VWAP. We start to hold and close above. This isn't a terrible play back up to the highs, but that was a pretty nice sell-off off of this news move, completely erasing the bottom of that news candle, right? Here's our 8:30 open. We're retesting VWAP, which is right there. So we are at a decent spot here. getting long on something like this is not a terrible play, right? If we continue lower here, sure, we could just be putting in a big choppy range, but if we continue lower here, this is looking really weak, right? So I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with a play like this, where you say we have to come all the way down lower. I think we could be in store for some movement lower. For me, I'd like a more aggressive test, kind of what NQ did, honestly. I'd probably be in long if I was trading NQ right now on a pullback all the way down to that low. I don't know that we get that at a ES. It looks like we might want to find buyers right here, come back up and test that high. I'm not getting long on this. I don't like the way this looks at all. I don't like the way it looks on Bookmap either. I think we got some selling pressure coming in. So not my setup here really from an extreme anyway. On another day, maybe I'm looking aggressively long on this. We know buyers love to step in at VWAP, but this is looking weak. Not a good way for me to structure risk on a short. You could absolutely do it right here, looking for a breakout lower. Really aggressively tight, stop loss just above this, right? If you're anticipating this to continue down to the 75s, so it's not a terrible play, but I'm in wait and see mode. We come aggressively lower and we start to find some buyers down around the 75s, down this prior day low, right? Maybe down to or towards these 75s. I could see a potential long setup. Maybe even 70s. If I had runners, I'd be out about 500 to 600 profit. Take what the market gives you. Yeah, take what the market gives you for sure. Just had a sell, but my stop loss already in fees because today is Wednesday. Yep. Good morning, Edmonds. What's happening? ES rejected NY VWAP. NQ was weak right off the bat. Once YM started drifting lower, bam, my setup got triggered, took a short, and aggressively trailed it. Didn't want bamboozle, so yeah, didn't want to be bamboozled. Yeah, so here we are, putting up a fight right around VWAP. Right, we got down below, and we are starting to put up a fight here. I'm watching Bookmap, specifically Delta, which I've been not relying on, but I've been taking into much more consideration because it is just, there's just such a pattern that presents itself with this CVD. I think it's really interesting for those of you that are looking for a volume tool. Cumulative volume delta is a really easy one to watch throughout the day and watch how it changes through big moves. I like simple stuff, and that one's very, very simple. Obviously nothing's 100%. Market can do whatever it wants to do regardless of any of these tools that we use. But that one is an interesting one to recognize patterns on. So let's see what happens. Trading these 62.85s right down around VWAP. Do we hold this or do we start to sell off? I like this short moving lower, man. Let's see what the market's got for us today. I don't have an amazing setup on any of this just yet. This is looking pretty weak to me, guys. This is looking pretty weak to me. if we had a larger, I'll tell you what would get me into a short here, or what would have got me into a short. If we had a larger pullback, maybe a nice spike back up where buyers really looked like they were going to try it off of VWAP, and I had a nice invalidation point of a low time frame high up here, and then we came all the way back down to the bottom of this on a nice declining CVD like this, through VWAP again, down towards prior day low, I'd be in for a short. This doesn't look bad. This doesn't look bad, but I don't think that's a great stop loss placement, and I don't know that that's a great spot because I think we could easily do what I would have loved to have already seen and wick up there. That's not a terrible play. Like 62.90s, maybe a retest of that, and then a crack lower, but this looks like we just want to go. This looks like we just want to go right here. Yeah, this is an interesting spot. This was almost good enough for a short play for me. Yeah, here we go. 62.90s had a bit of liquidity up here, like 126 on the book, and then 91 right above. Had we tagged this real quick and then continued right back down, it would give me a nice spot to throw a stop loss, and then price action market structure showing us, a move lower, where I'm already anticipating looking maybe for buys all the way down here. That would mean that I'm anticipating price to come down here. Not a bad play. Not a bad play. But let's see what we get here. I don't really have that. Just kind of tight consolidation around VWAP. So let's see what we get. Show you guys. Let's take a look at Bookmap together while we're hanging out. Let's take a look at our good friend Bookmap. Go ahead and get rid of this banner for now. This is Bookmap, my favorite order flow tool. We are looking at price levels and liquidity above and below price. So you can see what I'm talking about on these 62.90s. That would have been a nice spot to wick up a little bit higher, fill that, and then come lower. I'd probably be looking short. But as you can see, we got a nice declining cumulative volume delta, right? So this is indicating that sell volume is really outweighing buy volume on the way down. Again, there's a way more complicated way to talk about it and way more specific way to talk about it than just that. For me, when price is moving lower on an aggressively declining cumulative volume delta, that pattern is really indicating that we may not find buyers. We may continue that move. If we are selling off on a rising CVD really aggressively, popping to the upside, could be potential for reversal, and vice versa, moving to the upside. Again, like any other tool, right? Nothing crazy, but a volume tool, not a an RSI or something like that. Although it looks similar, a volume tool, right? That can also be seen on the traditional volume. It can be seen, through volume bubbles, volume down here. There's a number of ways to do it. Delta just gives you a nice read that way. Very simple print of it. But to the upside, if we start to pop back up the 6300s all the way back up to that overnight high, where we opened up and tested multiple times, 6310s, if we start to sell off down below price, like I was mentioning, we start to have a little bit more down around the 75s. But past that, man, it could be a larger dip for sure. Down to the 60s, we got some sitting on the book down here. And to show you guys what I was talking about earlier, this is very far away from price. I really don't take this into too much consideration because I'm on the 1 minute chart and a whole lot would have to happen between right here and right here. But we have a big stack of buy orders down at, this is actually at the 62.28s, I believe. That's the dead set number on it. So big stack of orders down there, buy side. 1,000 lot on the book. It's pretty heavy. So that is going to be Bookmap for right now. Let's see what ES has got for me, man. Get a little bit of consolidation rolling down here. Just resetting my chart. I'll bring you guys back over to the candlestick chart here. Let's see. You guys want to watch Bookmap or you want to watch Candlestick Chart? What are you guys thinking? Just set up for a short. Initial move down. Snap. Kill me. Negative 550. Went too big. Gotcha, Scott. Keep it in control. Keep it in control, guys. Trying to get back. Bookmap for YM. Yeah, I don't have CBOT data on here. I just have, actually I might. Do I have rhythmic CBOT data? Hang on one second. Let me take a look. Hang on one second. Hang on one second. Ooh, Scott. I'll show you this real quick. I do have CBOT data through Bookmap data. So again, you have to look at the exchange that you're trading with, and you would need level 2 data specifically for that exchange. I'm grateful to have both, but this is going to be YM Bookmap. Again, through the Chicago Board of Trade, not the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME versus CBOT, where ES and NQ are trading at the CME. YM is on CBOT. Nothing too crazy standing out on YM. I don't really look at it these days. I've looked at it in the past. Kind of interesting. We don't have big standout levels here. Looks like we got some algos that kind of track above and below price. You can kind of see that through this. That kind of algorithmic liquidity right above and below price. It never seems to get filled. Kind of just moves and makes it difficult to read. But that's what we'll be looking at for YM Bookmap. Not going to spend too much time on that one. Back to ES. But yeah, if you guys want to check out Bookmap, I'll throw the link in the chat. If you are dead broke, there is a free trial of Bookmap, I believe. That link is going to get you a discount. That's my partner link, right? I stand to make money from Bookmap, so I can't be unbiased. Important for you guys to know that. If you are really just wanted to take a look at Bookmap itself, I don't recommend trying to use this frequently, but there are a whole bunch of streams on YouTube. I think it's them pirating it, which, as a partner, I don't want to recommend that you go and just utilize that. In my mind, it's not really useful because it's so delayed. YouTube is delayed, and this stuff, it changes rapidly, right? You can't be watching, a price chart with a huge time delay. Same way you can't be watching Bookmap with a huge time delay. But if you wanted to check it out, right, it's not a bad way to do it. But everyone always goes, it's free on, it's free on Bookmap. It's free on YouTube, and I'm like, it's not free on YouTube. Let's see. They won't what? Question for you. Another 10-second rule. What if I accidentally bought and sold in 10 seconds on a couple trades? They won't count. So here's the rule from Top 1 Futures. As it reads. It's not that they won't count. Occasional violations are okay. But here's what we got going on. Right? Top 1 Futures has a minimum hold time rule, right? Minimum hold time rule. And part of their prohibited practices says, let me read it, straight from the site, which you guys can go to on their frequently asked questions. Minimum trade duration, 10-second rule. To protect against ultra-high frequency scalping and promote responsible trading, all trades must remain open longer than 10 seconds. Under 10 seconds violation, 10.01 seconds acceptable. So they're making it really clear, right? Occasional minor violations are tolerable, but if anywhere close to 50% or more of your total and/or withdrawable profits, or anywhere close to 50% or more of your individual trades violate this rule, all profits associated with these trades will be removed. So again, and that also means if you add into trades, right? So if you open and close a couple trades under 10 seconds, as we're starting to sell off here nice and aggressively, and I'm getting distracted, but that's okay. You open and close a couple trades, for 10 seconds. You have a couple profitable trades under 10 seconds, not going to be a problem, right? If you have, again, anywhere close to 50% to half of your profits coming from trades under there, or a frequency so high that, you're talking over, let's say, a quarter of your trades are under that 10 seconds, they're going to remove those profits. It's not a hard breach if you have a couple trades under 10 seconds, but it's a trade, it's a pretty clear rule, pretty cut and dry rule, right? I think the easy way to think about this is you can see all of your trades. You can take a look at all your trades. You could look at trade duration right on Project X. If you are primarily or, often under 10 seconds, you're a hyper scalper, Top One Futures is not going to be the firm, right? There's, firms like Top Step that don't have minimum trade rules. Most other firms that I've seen do have minimum trade rules, right? A lot of the instant fundeds have them as well. So that's what I would look at. But there's a whole big one going around where someone made a video and payout denial, and I'm like, you broke a rule, and they did exactly what they said they were going to do, right? You can't have trades under 10 seconds. I think, again, the easy way to look at that is, are you primarily scalping for under, 10-second movements in the market? If you are, that's a rule that's not going to align with your approach, your strategy, and that firm is probably not going to be a good fit for you, right? Same way as like if you're a home run hitter, right? If you're a very, very high risk to reward, low win rate trader, there's nothing maybe inherently wrong with that in the markets, but you're not going to do well with a consistency rule. Right down to the 70s. Didn't quite get down to the 75s. Back up on some nice volume here. This is interesting, guys. This is interesting here. We got bought right back up on this. So yeah, that's the 2 cents on that one. They were an accident. I was sold for a while. Yeah, sure, no problem. Again, there's rules, right? There's rules with prop firm. There's clear rules. They're out there, and if you break the rules, you can't ask for some exception to be taken, right? Unfortunately, in that same situation, I watched someone who was affiliated and partnered with the firm try to argue for not having their profits removed and, not having, an issue. And they went, dude, clear rule, no crazy hyper scalping. So, again, I saw it posted all over social media, and somebody made this long YouTube video about it. And I'm always happy to listen and hear, traders, sides if they are being wronged or something is, they're not being paid out when they didn't break a rule, or something is, totally wrong and they didn't break a rule and they're being, mistreated or something. But if you break a rule and then you're mad about the rule, that's your responsibility in the front end. If you say, hey, dude, I hyper scalp all the time, that's the way I trade, there's nothing wrong with tick scalping, I would say, sure, I agree with you 100%. That's a rule at many firms, and it's not going to play nice with you. So I wouldn't put your hard-earned money into anything that's just not going to work with you. So, that's the deal. That's the deal there. Back to VWAP. But a good question, man. Good question. Back up to VWAP here. Watching this on Bookmap with you guys because maybe it can be valuable. If you guys want to watch the candlestick chart, we can watch that as well. I'll try to swap over if I'm going to take a trade here, but right back up to VWAP on some decent volume, man. This is looking interesting. This is looking kind of interesting. Kind of liking this long for a continuation trade here, guys. Do we just wick higher here and then come right back down? Starting to break and hold above VWAP here. Yeah, I'm gonna sit tight on this, guys. This could be a play to the upside, but I'm just not as comfortable with this one. It's a pullback down, aggressively bought back up to wick back above VWAP, but I and it looks okay. This is not a terrible long position right here. Stop loss down below this low, down below the 75s. But I didn't get my level tested again. It's been happening a lot. Just personally, the way that I'm looking at the chart, the levels that I'm setting, that I'm just not getting priced to move to the areas that I'm looking for. Again, if this was a deeper pullback down and we started to get that movement, I'm long on this. But here we are pulling back down to the 77s, right around the 77s. What do we actually trade? We traded 77.5 at these lows. So I don't have a setup on this. I just don't have a good setup where I want to take an L if I have to take an L. So I'm gonna sit patient. Again, I'm trying to get my mindset right and just be very, very patient, be very process focused on here, where I wait patiently for my setup to come. It comes, I throw it on. I got to take an L or a win, so be it. I don't know what's going to happen next, right? And I don't need to make money. Kind of that Mark Douglas mindset. It's what I try to cultivate. Let's see. Chat, how we doing, guys? Let me scroll back up. Trade GPT told me short. Trade GPT. Scott's working with AI. I love it. I'm super good when it's like less than 1%. Let's go less than 50. Thanks, Zach. Yep, no problem. Oh, there was an accident. I always hold for, yeah, we talked about that. Consistency rule. Yeah, there's consistency rules on top 1 futures accounts. Either a consistency rule or an equity stability score. Doing well now with my discipline, and even also wish everyone a good trading day with shorts or quick reversals. Yeah, send it. If you're going to do it hyper scalp, do it with a bot. I'm too slow, says Scott. Not a hyper scalper. I usually do less than 6 micros. Yep. Too slow for me. I'm turning 40 soon. Scott says 40. I was 40 once. Do you giving 100% off code? No, I don't have any 100% off codes, but I do give away 50K straight to funded accounts on these live streams. So if you hang tight, maybe we drop a form later today. I have multiple to give away on these streams. 50K straight to funded accounts. Potentially, we see one of those bad boys later today. As we watch this on Bookmap, kind of chopped down around the VWAP level here. Holding pretty strong. Do we just pop back up on this, or do we continue down lower, man? I don't really love this structure. Long play from down here. I'm interested to see if we pull back down through these 70s, right? Sweep prior day low. Come back to this area consolidation. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys this on the candlestick chart. Let me get this back up here. Oh, not that. So here we are, back to the top 1 futures chart. Here's what I'm looking at, guys. Here's what I'm looking at. Get comments back up. If we're not just going to stop right here, which we might, if we're not just going to, pull back down into this area, if I zoom way out on the 15-minute, this is really where I like to take into consideration this visible range, this visible range volume profile. Excuse me, there's my throat getting messed up. The 70s are a pretty clean level, right? It's right at prior day low. I don't need another zone here, right? The 70s are a pretty nice high volume area. It's the second highest to the temporary volume point of control, zoomed out, really just displaying this this consolidation area that we've had up near all-time highs. So I wouldn't mind a buy off of this area if we sweep down lower one more time to potentially either just continue to chop or to really to continue this bullish move on the day to the upside. We might not get that. It looks like we want to try it back up here again. And this may be all we're going to come in and test. Stop loss below these lows could be a play. Back above VWAP again and holding. Growing CVD. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I like, gun to my head, I'm long. Like if I had to do something, I think I'd be long at this point. Running back up towards the 6300s for a sweep of these highs. It's not a terrible play. It's just not super nice from down here. I'd be stop loss right below the low, which I don't love doing. We didn't get liquidity to fill down here where we've got quite a bit. We didn't get a test into this really high volume area. It looks like buyers want to take it higher based on price action and market structure, but I'm not super sold on this one. It's just, not to sound like sad and depressed, but it's just not beautiful. The only thing that's leaning into this thesis to the upside is CVD growing again. I don't know what other opportunity I'm going to have today, so I'm considering it. I am considering it, but it's just not beautiful. Yeah, it's not bad up to the 6300s. We pop liquidity that's right here. I think a nice return up here could be in store. Let's see. Come on, guys, like the stream. Yeah, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. I'm here live every day, 100% free. Here it is. Every damn day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, right? More than happy to have you guys on. 72 might be a decent long. I'm not very sure about longs. Yeah, I'm looking long on this, Wolf. Just got 200 long. Does the bookmap come with data, or do you want to subscribe, or do we subscribe to data provider also? So, like any order flow tool, Para, you do need a subscription to level 2 data. Are we going to fucking pop these highs? Excuse my language. We're going to pop these highs and run to the 6300s. Looking at this long, but hang on. Yeah, the answer is yes. I'm going to answer that question in more detail, kind of explain exactly how that works. But yes, you need level 2 data for any depth of market for anything that you want to view level 2 data on. And then Bookmap is a separate subscription. So you need level 2 data through any of the normal level 2 data providers like Rhythmic, DXFeed. You can get it directly from Bookmap. So that's a separate subscription. And then you need, if you want to use Bookmap specifically, you could just use Bookmap. Yeah, I'm tempted on this one long, but it's just not really a clean setup. It would be a really heavy Bookmap trade. It looks like we're gonna get a pop back up here. It's not super clean today. I get a little bit defeated when I get that good indication of something, but it's just not my setup because we still have liquidity down here that we didn't grab, and I kind of got to sit tight and watch what maybe I think is going to happen. But because I think something's going to happen and I don't really have a good way to apply consistency to that every day, that's not a great way to trade. So it's just kind of the sit and watch. This looks like a bullish pop back up. Maybe if we wicked down, what would maybe get me into something like this, we wick down and fill these 80s. We got 150 on the book. Had we wicked down here and then popped right back up. So just not enough for me, market structure and order flow to jump into this. But I do like this long. Yep. Yep. I'll be right back, guys. Be right back. Back in action here with you guys. Ugh, let me not mess up my setup here. What's happening, team? What's happening? Let's see what we got rolling here. Let's see what we got rolling. ES chopping, NQ kind of doing the same thing, just looking around the horn now that I got Bookmap open for all these bad boys. Yeah, YM kind of selling off here. Again, I'm still looking long on this, but it's got to be off the right spot. I didn't get my level down here hit. I don't want a stop loss right here. You know, I'd be not so happy if I saw this happening in a stop, and I had a stop right here. So still sitting patient, waiting to see if we don't get something that can allow me to throw a trade on here with you guys. But these markets have been tricky. But let me scroll back up on the chat. What's going on, guys? Oh, let's go from the bottom. Lived in Chi-Town from 87. Nice. Scott, Chicago. That's awesome. Listening to you from now on. Chair, this is the best time. Throw a short in. Wolf said short. Chair. Yeah, I still think ES could come down. It could kind of go either way here. I'd be looking at long on this, but not from this area. So Chair did okay. No trade from Chair. Scott was a runner at the Chicago Board of Trade in the late 80s. That's insane, dude. That is insane. Scott is an OG. He's the real deal. That is really cool, man. Really cool. I'd love to like hear stories about that one day. Mad Moxie, good morning. Half a century of this confusion. How many years? How many year you in trading? I'm assuming you're asking me that, GameX player. I'm about 6 years in the markets. The first couple of that wasn't very seriously focused in trading, but about 6 years in the markets. The next question is usually how long does it take to get profitable or whatever, and like it's not as simple as a question as most people ask it. Like you flip a page one day and you just start making money. But for me, it was into like that 2.5, 3 year mark, honestly, of just losing money before I started to grasp onto just a little bit of consistency, start effing breaking even. Warren Buffett was my college roommate. Scott's been trading for 100 years. He was one of the first people. Where are you based, Zach? If anybody asking. I'm in Florida. I try not to dox myself, but I am in the sunny state of Florida right now. I do travel quite a bit. I'm not always down here in Florida. I miss working. And the club's more. Ask Austin, former DJ too. Tampa, Scott's in Tampa. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Yeah. Coming into hurricane season down here. Hopefully my house is still standing as we get through that. But yeah. Yeah. Nice. All the way down to Key Biscayne. Awesome. Josh asked, do you ever think about monetary losses when you trade, and when you become profitable, do you just forget about it? That's a good question, Josh. That's a really good question. It's a good mindset question. Scott, good times, good times. Yeah, I'll have to ask Austin about that, Scott. So here's the place that you want to start to get to, right? Here's the spot that you want to start to get to. You want to start to get to a spot in trading where, and just speaking from experience, where you don't think about your intraday P&L. You start to build the belief that the markets are very random on the short term, and that I don't know what's going to happen next on this single individual trade, and I don't need to make money, right? Patterns repeat themselves in the long term. I know I do not have a 100% win rate, and that means I will have to have losses. I will have a win rate where I have a random distribution of wins and losses. So that means I don't know what's going to happen next, and I don't know if this next trade is going to be a winner. And if you start to hold those beliefs as core true beliefs for yourself, you start to get less and less upset and less angry about a loss and the monetary loss in any individual trade. You start to get more experience and confidence as you go on, right? And more consistency to trust your system, to trust your approach, because you do back test and you forward test and you trade for long enough. You journal your trades, right? You have some belief that you have an edge in the market, and this is going to work out over a long enough period of time. And through those combination of things, you start to worry less about that intraday P&L or the outcome of any one individual trade, right? As humans, and as we see price flash in front of our eyes and money, go in and out of our accounts, it's very difficult. It's difficult to really think in that way. But that's how I believe the best traders think and function. That's the mindset that I believe they function from. And that's what I believe really separates the best from everybody else. Here is the pop to the upside through the 90s. That long would be paying, would have been a little bit dicey as we started to come back down here. I still don't know about this, guys. We're chopping at VWAP. This is nothing for me. Back down to VWAP after news, chop around. Growing CVD here that looked like we did want to come and pop these highs. Long play to the 90s, to the 6300s looks pretty good. The high 90s rather, 6300s, but I don't have anything on this. So we'll yap about psychology. But yeah, that's kind of where you want to get, right? You need to start thinking about the process of trading well, and the individual monetary loss when you're in a trade doesn't make sense to think about outside of just a risk perspective. So the best thing that I could recommend, I'm listening to it again. Somebody threw it in another community, so I don't want to take credit for it. But I just posted it in my Discord. You can feel free to hop in the free Discord. It's an old Mark Douglas seminar. Mark Douglas has passed away, so we don't get new stuff out of him, which is unfortunate. But Mark Douglas, who wrote Trading in the Zone and The Disciplined Trader, has this old seminar on YouTube where he talks for quite a while. Some of it's kind of long, and he tells stories, and it's like whatever. But his whole belief and function and discussion is that trading is all mental, right? It's all mental. What we're doing here doesn't have anything to do with physical abilities. It doesn't have to do with being smart. It doesn't have to do with being smarter than anybody else. I believe there's a big piece that comes in that's experience, right? That's going to allow you some discretion and intuition and ability to execute that way, and confidence. But the main piece of this is psychology, is mindset. If you could, everybody gets easy systems, right? Easy. You can watch anybody trade. You can watch guys that are making money nonstop, right? I forget that quote, but we could post our one of the best traders. I could post my system, my strategy with everything in the Wall Street Journal on the front page, and nobody would make money with it. Why? It's not because you don't know what to do, but you're There's something preventing you from doing what you know that you should be doing. Psychology, right? Emotional control, self-regulation, discipline, trading without fear, trading without greed, all of that comes into this. So if you've been here for a little while, if you've been trading for a little while, I would really recommend that that's where you start to focus. You need an edge in the market, right? So some people go, psychology is BS because everybody just says focus on psychology and then you're going to make money with great psychology. No, you can temper that, right? You need a system. You need an approach. You need to become a good risk manager, and you need to have some experience in doing this to ever stand a chance to start making money, right? Just like anything else in the world. But the answer, the holy grail, what separates profitable traders from consistent losers is not, in my opinion, the strategy. It's not some secret that they found out about the market, some special indicator on TradingView that they use. It's a combination of the way they think about trading, that's pretty all-encompassing, their mindset and psychology, and experience. I believe it's a combination of those two things. Experience, which builds discretion and intuition and confidence, right, and belief in their system. And then mindset and psychology and the way that they think about trading that allows them to execute and allows them to interpret and perceive market information correctly, right? So that's my thought process on it. It's the Mark Douglas thought process. You read Best Loser Wins from Tom Hogard. That's the whole conversation. You read The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. That's the whole conversation. And I think we see that displayed. I've watched it displayed in front of me because I watch guys trade on the same stupid charts that I trade on with the same simple tools. Why was I losing money nonstop watching them trade right in front of me, not being able to emulate what they were doing? It's not because they were super smart, right? Or they had some secret tool behind the scenes. It's the way that they were thinking about trading that allowed them to execute effectively, to hold on to trades, right? To cut losers short, to do all the things that we know we're supposed to do, to wait patiently from, for their setup to come rather than to just FOMO in 5 times and get chopped up. But it's the boring stuff. It's what you hear people talk about. But man, I encourage you, here's a simple one. If you haven't read Trading in the Zone, Best Loser Wins, and The Mental Game of Trading, I seriously think you should do that before you put another trade on. I do not think you'd be a worse trader after reading those 3 books. I really don't. And if you read those 3, there's another dozen more that I think would also make you a better trader. I also think journaling, really thinking about the way that you think about trading, your mindset outside of trading, all of these things are massively helpful, Once you have an edge, right? Once you have something, some system for risk management and trading, which is necessary, don't get me wrong, and you have some experience in the market watching these charts, right? So that's my thought process there. I know that was a longer rant, but yeah. But yeah, in Discord, if you're dead broke or you don't want to buy any book, you don't want to do anything, there's hours and hours of Mark Douglas yapping at that seminar, which I think is really cool because he goes through all the same principles and thought processes that are in Trading the Zone and the Disciplined Trader. And it's all about the way that you think about the markets. It's about the function of probabilities, the game that we're playing here, the randomness of the market, and how we can still make money alongside of that if we accept that, right? The acceptance of risk, all of these things. But all of them really revolve around the way that we think about trading, not some secret, when the 21 EMA crosses over the 52 EMA, you get long and a stop loss below 2 ATR. That's not it. That's not going to answer all your questions. That's not going to make you a profitable trader, in my humble opinion. Let's see what we got here, guys. Chopping at VWAP. 2 losing days because I don't want to hit short. Yeah, Nate, we had some down days, man, but let me tell you, I've been hitting, temper that, because I've been hitting short and I've been getting absolutely cooked on those shorts. So I would be cautious. Remember the markets that we're in, as we start to consolidate, as we start to sell off, you do have to be more unbiased with that long bias, but I'd be cautious hitting the smash, starting to get comfortable smashing that short button too much. I don't know where I carry it from. I don't know why. I think it's probably a byproduct of trading long only first and never being able to hit the short button, combined with watching us take the oftentimes the slang is we take we take the stairs up and the elevator down. The way that price moves to the upside is different than the way that it moves to the downside. But I try not to carry that unhealthy short bias. So I'm just scrolling the chat. Thank you, very insightful. Yeah, man. Again, it's just my thoughts. It's my opinion. You could say, nah, that Zach, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'd say that's fine. I'm an idiot from YouTube, so grain of salted. I'm certainly not a financial advisor, and I'm certainly not the best trader. I don't have it all figured out. I still make mistakes. I just talk in terms of, what I'm trying to make work for me. That's the way that I'll put it. I look at trading like running a business. Yeah, you should. You should take it seriously. If you're not going to take it seriously, you probably don't want to waste your time. It's all true though, Zach. Awesome traders of history. Nice. Got some guys from North Carolina. Cool. You guys were talking earlier. It takes big, giant, hairy. Yep. Yeah, it does. You have to have some, what's the Tom Hogarth term? Sorry, ladies. Testicular fortitude. That's, I think, the comment. Or Dr. David Paul used to say that, the dude that Hogarth was always working with, who's got some seminars and stuff on YouTube. I have 2 of his books. Hard to believe he died in 2001. Yeah. Yeah, man. Dude, Douglas was like, I don't know. You read some stuff, and I don't know if it's just what they're saying or the way that they talk about it, but it just hits so hard, and it's so applicable to what we're doing. And that's what I found with reading that zone and trading the zone. But plot twist, so has everybody else. That's why it's like one of the most popular trading books, because it's really good. Same with Best Loser Wins, right? It's really good. It hits really hard, so. Intestinal fortitude. I can't have that. I have growths. Scott, man, you're making me laugh today, dude. Making me laugh. I'm in the longest short of my life. Yeah, it might still drop. I don't know. Randy says, Z, blessed to see another day. Let's go. I hope you get better, brother. Randy, I am blessed to be here. I am grateful. Thanking God every day that I wake up, even if I wake up sick and I end red on the day. I'm still thanking God for being here and all of the good stuff in my life. So Randy coming in with always the good energy, man. I love it. Absolutely killed it. Congrats to Randy. If you guys don't know, he's in my Discord. He hasn't been there for very long. I haven't worked with him. He's hopped on my live sessions, but he's shared where he's at. And this dude's taking max payout from Top Step while he's getting ready to go on vacation. Absolute beast. Obviously, whatever he is doing is working very well for him. So well done. And he's shared a little bit about that. He's been at it for a long time, and he's really just starting to get some of that to break through years in. So it's wonderful, man. Wonderful. Wolf, profitable traders are made by fair value gaps, order blocks, silver bullet, daily bias, MMBM, MSM, and other acronyms. Yeah, that's, if you believe that, I wish you the best of luck. The best of luck. Watch this market come down to test these lows again as we're still chopping below VWAP as I'm reading some chat. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Good conversation, though. No tilt, a little over trading, and the same move, getting frustrated. It's what the DLL is for me. Yeah, Nate and everybody else on here, I just dropped another YouTube video on the best trading tool that I have right now for everybody that's struggling with tilt and over trading. Set the personal daily loss limit, the personal daily profit target, and lock it out every single day. Set that and lock it out every single day. That's my 2 cents. Brew your mind of a real man. That we're talking about Mark Douglas on that. Yeah. Or Scott. God is good. Yes, God is good. Hallelujah. Yeah. Bounced off my entry price 9 times. Scott's holding on to a short here. Good. Nathan cut down on the overtrading too. Probably use lockout feature more. Yep. Guys, use the tools available to you until you build the discipline to do it yourself, right? You take too large of a loss. You hit your daily loss limit, whatever that is for you, right? You've watched me do it multiple times. I'd like to keep trading after hitting, a couple $500 losses on these accounts if I get something, right? I want to work myself back to break even or into profit, but I know the downside of that is taking a larger loss than I really want to accept. So now I'm into the danger zone. I'm not accepting that loss. I don't really recognize, like we talk about mindset and Mark Douglas. I'm not accepting that I don't know what's going to happen next and that this next trade might be a loss. I'm saying I need to get back to break even. So I'm not going to, first off, I'm not going to interpret market information correctly, right? Mark Douglas talks about the way that you're thinking about trading outside of going on tilt, outside of emotional control, the way that you're thinking about trading affects how you perceive market data, right? Which is true. And here's the example of that. It's crazy to think about, but this is the truth. If you're not in a trade, right? If you're not in a trade and you're just watching the market move, how do you feel? If you don't even have a trading account loaded up, you usually don't feel too much. You're watching upticks and downticks. You're watching bars move up and down, right? The moment you put a trade on, and let's say a sizable trade in a live personal account where you have a decent amount of money, of real money on the line, not even a prop firm eval or demo, what do you feel, right? You feel something. You are perceiving that market information in a specific way that is generating emotion, oftentimes strong emotion, right? Think about that. Think about that. The way that you're thinking about that market and the way that you're interacting with the chart is causing you to have an emotional reaction, right? The market's not doing that inherently. The market doesn't care about you. It doesn't know when we hit the buy or sell button, certainly not in sim-funded accounts, and it's really not going to affect it in a live account. But we are interpreting that information that way. And when we're in a trade, how we perceive that information can start to be skewed because the way that we're thinking about it. This is a big thought. It's kind of abstract, but holy shit, excuse my language, if you really start to reflect on that and think about how you're acting when you're in a trade, letting your losses run, moving stop loss away, cutting winners early, going stop loss to break even like I did yesterday after I hop on the Discord. I've recorded a video about it, but you'll see me talk about it in the Discord. You know, you start to think about these things and you can create different responses. You can acknowledge the way that you're feeling, right? You don't become this completely calloused, you never have any feelings person. You acknowledge the fear, you acknowledge the greed, the hope, and you create a different response to it by way of your actions. It's very difficult to do. That's the hard part of all this. But it starts with, thinking about it, learning about it, reading about it, reflecting on it, looking at it in your own specific way. And again, it's kind of this like big abstract type of thing, but man, that is the differentiator here, guys. It really, really is. You could trade whatever. Here's my thought: you could trade whatever system you want. You really can. Anything can work in these markets that actually makes sense, right? Back test it, forward test it, trade it, and then what happens? All of a sudden, we back test something, works great. Okay, now we paper trade it for 3 months, works great, beautiful returns, everything working good. We're executing good, everything's good. All of a sudden, we put it in a live account, and it goes right to the floor. We blow it. Why? The system's fine, right? We just can't execute it. Why? Well, money's on the line now, and the way that we're thinking about this is differently, and we're feeling these emotions, and they're causing us to execute poorly. We're making errors, right? So that's the hard piece of trading. So if you can think about these things, I think you can make a lot of progress. It's difficult. It's very difficult. It takes a long period of time. And again, there is a piece in there that is experience, right? There is a piece in here which is experience on the charts, becoming a good read of the market and being good at executing your system, right? So I don't want to gloss over that as I'm talking about psychology and mindset, because again, it's come to the forefront more in trading, which I think is great. But a lot of guys go, oh, mindset and psychology is a bunch of bullshit. You don't need any of that if you have a great system. I disagree. I think you need a good system and you need time in the markets to be able to read the markets and actually execute. But past that, without mindset and psychology, you're not going to be able to run it. You're not going to be able to run that play. So that's my rant for today. We ran it back twice. Got some fires. Fire in the chat. Scott and Douglas. You should push. Oh, God. Wolf with the trolling. Yep. Scott Short. Stop above VWAP. Nice. Brian C. Howdy. What's up? What is up, Brian? Welcome back to the show. Aaron, preach that, bro. No, man. Listen, dude. I wish more people yelled at me and grabbed me by the effing shirt when I was starting and said, dude, stop Googling the best trading time frame and another fucking, Bollinger Band strategy. Like, just stop. Give it a rest. You're on your 10th strategy in 10 weeks. Like, that's not the answer, dude. You know, I wish someone pulled me out of that earlier, or I pulled myself out of it earlier. You know, I was spent a lot of time in the wrong places. So that's that. There's no win button. No, there's no win button. So chopping around VWAP, guys. We created a pretty nice zone here. That was a long conversation on psychology, talking about mindset, but I think that stuff can be helpful, especially when we're watching the market do nothing. There's only ICT. Yeah. Again, I think a lot of the stuff that we see, without being too specific, a lot of the stuff that people trade is rooted in an incorrect way to think about the markets. That's the way that my opinion. And the Mark Douglas, Tom Hogarth, the professional trading type of way to think about the market is almost the exact opposite. If someone's telling you they know where the market's going to go next, I know exactly to the tick what the market's going to do. I believe they either don't know what they're talking about, or they know what they're talking about. They don't really believe that, and they're just saying it for some monetary gain. That's my 2 cents. There's a break-even button. Yeah. There is a break-even button. Guys, we're chopping around here, guys. Really chopping around. For me, the 15-minute chart looks like it doesn't know what to do. About to pick a side or team, bulls or bells. Yeah, it's going to do something, but right now we're just chopping. And while we're chopping, guys, I got something for you. We're going to run a giveaway today, guys. If you couldn't figure that one out from earlier when I gave you guys the heads up, and I said it in Discord and I said it in IG in a cryptic way, we're going to run a giveaway today. We got a 50K straight to funded pro account to get given away. We do not have a whole ton of people on this live, so you guys got great odds. Everybody chill out. Don't throw the numbers in just yet. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. Smash the like button. We have a quarter of as many likes on YouTube as there are people actually watching. So I'm going to say at least all of you have to hit the like button right now, and then we'll drop the form. That's what we're going to do today. Smash the like button. We have to have at least as many likes, if not more, than people we have in the chat. Right? That's, than people we have on the actual live session, and we'll drop the form. I'll make it easy for you guys. We're going to make this easy. We're watching the market chop around. Looks like we're going to try the upside again. But in the meantime, we are going to run the giveaway. So smash the like button as soon as we hit more likes than we have people on the stream, which we should be able to do because we've had triple the amount of people, way more than that, like 5 times the amount of people cycle on and off the stream. But we haven't ran one in a minute, so we're going to run one today. Let me get the form ready. We'll get you guys, we'll get somebody funded on the stream here today. If you guys want to check out Top 1 Futures, so first off, here I'm going to throw it in chat. Smash the like button. There it is. For you guys that don't have volume on, smash the like button. And for you guys that want to check out Top 1 Futures, and maybe you don't care about the form, maybe you don't care about the giveaway, you don't have to do anything. And you also don't have to hit the like button. You don't have to subscribe. You can fade me. You can do whatever you want, right? Which I think is important. Exercise that free will. But just in case you want to check out Top 1 Futures, here are the current deals as we're waiting for you to hit that like button. We got 45% off with code RDF. This is better than what's in the Discord, better than the email, better than anything that you find, better than the website. Shout out to Top 1 for supporting me to support you guys. Code RDF is going to get it done. 45% off for the straight to funded Sim Pro accounts and the Elite Challenge accounts. If you want the OG end of day trailing drawdowns with just a regular consistency rule, there it is. 30% off of that bad boy with code RDF. Now it's in Twitter for you guys also. We got it done. Because for some reason, StreamYard doesn't let me post to Twitter. Oh, did it work? Uh-oh. Maybe. I don't know. If you're on Twitter and you can't see it, feel free, hop on YouTube or Kick. Should be able to do that. Real Deal Futures, Real Deal Zach. All right. Let's see what we got rolling. Yeah, we got a few people on Kick. We got a handful of you guys on on X. You guys love watching on X, man. That's cool. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got for live streaming likes. Yeah, you guys need about 10 more. You guys need about 10 more likes. Got 37 likes, 48 people on the stream. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. As we watch the likes climb, we also are watching the market climb to the upside. Looks like longs would have started to paid. Would have been really painful to get involved back here like I was looking at with a stop loss down below this level. The initial thesis that we were going to pop through these highs and continue really didn't play out. We kind of just chopped here and now are making a decision to move higher. So nothing. Ooh, gnarly volatility on that one. Uh-oh. Right back to VWAP. Careful, guys. That looks like a Trump tweet. That looks like a tariff comment. Let's see. Andrew's usually the first one to call it out. He's the news guy, or somebody else. I forget the other dude's name who's always on here. Ryan. Let's see. What do we got? Who's going to be the first to call it out? Not that it really matters, but that's gnarly volatility. Ton of volume behind that. You can see it down on the. CVD dropped right off on that one. Wow. Yup, you can see the volume down here, guys. Take a look at that. Huge amount of volume relative to everything else that was traded. Actually, more than double the opening volume. Heavy selling pressure on this one. That looks like it is. Let's see. Yeah, I don't subscribe to this stuff that gives like up to the minute. I could do it for you guys that don't care. I'll probably do it for financial juice after this because there's just so much lately. I'll let you know once it loads for me. Big dump. Yeah, gonna be something underlying, right? Something fundamental. Ooh, right back up on it. Yeah, bookmap cleared out. We came right down, grabbed liquidity at the 83s, all the way down to the 80s, bouncing right back up towards VWAP. I'm not the event-based news trader. It's not my forte. If you guys like scalp and momentum, now's your time. We got sellers getting involved right above price now, 540 on the book. This is interesting. Right back up through VWAP. There you go. Lawmakers say Trump indicated he will fire Fed Chair Powell. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, financial juice is like lagging. I don't even know what's going on with the site. But that's probably about it. That's probably about it. So looked like we were going to sell off there for a moment. Really didn't follow through. There you go. Ralph's got it. Trump asked GOP lawmakers about firing Fed Chair Powell. Yep, that'll do it. That will definitely do it. Yeah, it's not posted up just yet. Both of these are lagging out, so I'm not going to wait for it. Yeah, guys, right back to VWAP, though. Like, not a whole lot out of this. If you sold off the open for some reason, kind of like yesterday, you were just anticipating a down day, that might have paid. Here we are back around VWAP. Not a whole lot out of this one. I'm not going to look to jump into anything too crazy as this is coming out. We're still seeing a lot of volume being traded, a lot of volatility. Going to be fun to watch. But that's probably not the last jump that we're about to see, if I had to say. So let's see what we got. Yeah, that would have been super painful. Look at that. Imagine you ran this long, stop loss just below that low by a couple ticks. This is looking great to the 300s. It wicks your ass out and then comes right back up. Maybe a little bit of room to breathe down here. You would have been okay, but this now would have not been working out very nicely in a long. Hence the trading right at VWAP, looking a little bit sketchy. Looking a little bit sketchy. Yeah, let's see what we get. Let's see if we get follow through to the downside here, guys. CVD dropped off heavy. This does look like we want to continue lower. Cracked right through VWAP. We bounced there, and now we're here coming down through the lows. Yeah, this could get pretty ugly here. This could get pretty ugly. I'm gonna watch what happens down around the levels that I was watching from earlier today. Right, the 70s not looking as appetizing right now as we come lower, but I'm gonna be watching a test of that level below prior day low here, and to see if we don't find some buyers. Let's see. Gold just went 22 points in a merely few minutes. Yep, that'll do it. All right, let's see where we're at with the forum. Again, we got a giveaway getting ready to roll out right here. If you guys can get the likes up. Nah, you guys got to hit the like button. Guys, here, I'll set the goal. Let's say 45 likes. You got 45 people on here right now. I'm not even going to make you have as many as we have on here. If everybody right now hits the like button, we will exceed that goal, and we'll hit 45 likes. I'm making it super easy. I was asking for like 100 back in the day. I was really making you guys hang out. Hit the like button. We will drop a form for a 50K instant funded giveaway. Excuse me, straight to funded. No purchase necessary. Go ahead, smash that one if you want the form to drop. If not, we can just hang out and watch the markets. Form's ready. We're ready to roll. Let's get back to the charts real quick. Nope, right back up to VWAP. Right back up to VWAP on this one. Getting too old for this. Trump's the reason. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's wild, man. It's really wild market. I don't really. I repeat myself on this. I don't know what special sauce anybody could give you that would allow you to anticipate what someone might say and then how that's going to affect the market and be fast enough to react. Using stop losses, structuring your risk, accepting where your stop loss is and that it can be hit at any moment in time in these markets, I think is really important. That's pretty much what I could say. Maybe widening out stop loss and take profits if you want to hold for a longer period of time so you could survive some of this volatility potentially if it comes in, or go in the opposite direction. Looking to scalp and just get really aggressive, get yourself in and out of the market and limit your exposure, right? I've heard people go both ways. For me, the way that I handle it is when I put that stop loss in, I have to really, really, really accept that Trump can make a comment where he says, I'm going to fire Powell, and immediately the market wicks in one direction on double the volume and double the volatility that we've seen all day. That's just a part of it. And you hope that you're on the right side of those unpredictable movements as many times as you're on the wrong side of them, which, maybe you can identify a trend, and every time somebody says something that the market pumps or the market dumps and you want to utilize that. For me, I don't know. I think it's about even. Jumps or dumps about the same amount in my mind. Not really correlating to anything other than to maybe where liquidity is. Maybe we go grab whatever liquidity is above below price really aggressively quickly. We kind of hit a level, but this is a sweep down below session lows and then right back to VWAP. Just sitting right at VWAP. So a lot of indecision today, consolidation. We are dead set. VWAP is flat. This is just not good trading conditions for me. Outside of these extremes, maybe, but when we do finally start to break on this type of movement, right, on some crazy fundamentals coming in, it could be really aggressive. So don't know that I want to fade it. All right, let's see. A couple more likes, and we will drop the giveaway in the chat. Might be a no trade session for me, guys. I'm not attempting to have these. I'm just waiting for something to happen, right? Sometimes I feel like I'm looking at the market, poking it with a stick, waiting for something to happen. But I'm not just gonna YOLO trades for no reason, just for fun. I'm gonna try to trade well in these accounts to the best of my abilities, and that's difficult enough as it is. No trade better than bad trade. Yep. Problem with stop loss is a fast move. You can blow past a stop loss. Yep. If you go lighter and use a stop loss, much safer. Yep. Yep. You got to be cautious of slippage, right? Definitely got to be cautious of slippage. It's on the right side, but too late. Once again, gotcha. Don't go too heavy. Happy to be here listening to your understanding of the market. Yeah, AVS, I appreciate you hopping on. You're here all the time. What's up? Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting too old for this. Yeah. Yep. Guys, let's see what we got. 44 likes in the chat. 44 likes on YouTube. Can we smash one or two more on anything? Maybe like, here, I'll make it easy. If, let's do this. If we get to 45 on YouTube or 2 out of the 26 people on X smash the like button, we'll make it easy. We'll make it easy for you guys. We could drop a form. Euro close in a few minutes. Hit the like button. There we go. Somebody hit it. Very nice. Good to go. Look at that, guys. You guys are great. All right. Let's see what we got. We got the form dropping. You know what time it is. It's giveaway time. Form dropping in the chat right now. Boom. There it is. Gonna pin it to the top of the chat. That is the giveaway form. Go ahead and get that one filled out. Fill it out only one time. This is for a straight to funded account giveaway. No purchase necessary. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to fill the form out if you don't want to. Whatever you want to do. You're your own person. Feel free to do whatever or not do whatever you want. But this is for a straight to funded Sim Pro 50K from Top 1 Futures. Email, name, username, whatever, so I could find you. And then you can go ahead and drop your number in the chat. Only fill the form out one time. If you fill it out more than one time, the only thing you're going to guarantee is that you don't win. These come straight from Top 1 Futures. You can only have one account with Top 1 Futures. So if you use your mom's name and your grandma's name and you win under one of those, you're just going to blow it for yourself, and I'll make sure that you never get a chance to win, okay? You'll get banned. Outside of that, everybody's been playing nice with that so far. Haven't had anybody really ruin the fun. Outside of that, you could throw your favorite number in the chat. If you pick your number, right now, maybe we're going to have like 40, 50 people on here, maybe, so you can guess that. If you pick your number in the chat, right, you will not, and you win, and you win. You'll not only win the account, but you'll win a bonus cash giveaway from yours truly. We've had one person hit it so far. One person. We actually got close last time, but we had one person hit it so far. So again, it's not just if you guess your correct number in the chat. You can only pick one number. Not just if you guess your correct number in the chat, but if you guess your number and you win, you have a chance to win the account and a bonus cash giveaway. So it is 11:06. I'll give you guys till 11:20 to get this filled out. No super rush. We'll chill 15 minutes. I see you guys throwing numbers in the chat right now, getting it filled out. Awesome. Let me make sure the kids and the kids over on X get the form as well. Hang tight. Let me make sure you guys get it. We're non-discriminatory here. You guys can tune in from wherever you want and have a chance to win. I want to do a latency test, though, actually, and look at Kick. X is hella delayed. So you guys that are on X, you're getting a pretty delayed feed. But I think Kick might be even better than YouTube. There is the form for y'all on X. As you guys know, I don't spend a lot of time at all on Twitter. I just logged out of my thing for a second because I was trying to chat. My entire feed now is just like the Gronk AI, whatever the AI is, which is just like an anime character that's in lingerie. So I don't know. Twitter's a wild place. You guys have at it on there. You have fun. Catch me on IG, YouTube, and Kick. I think you gotta have a presence across all socials, right? If you want to be able to connect with people. But Twitter is pretty much a very violent, negative place, and now a lot of like anime characters. So I don't really know what's going on there, but you guys have fun there. watching this market for a minute. Remember, guys, form is in the chat. 11:20. Get that one filled out if you want a chance to win. Yeah, I don't know about this market, guys. I don't really know. Chopping around VWAP. Crazy wick lower and then wick up. I don't have a beautiful don't have a beautiful read on this. Let's see what we got here. Again, guys, giveaway form is in the chat pinned. It is giveaway day. Hit like, hit subscribe if you want to. You don't have to do anything. Free means free. I'm on here free every damn day. We have multiple giveaways every week on these streams. If you want a chance to win, hop in the free Discord, hop on YouTube, hop on X, hop somewhere, hang out with me, and we'll get some people funded on here. More than happy to have you guys on hanging with me. It is giveaway time, though. We're waiting to see if we can't get some movement out of these markets. Looks like we're slow climb back up. I don't know. Nothing really enticing me here today at all. But we'll hang out. We'll watch it together. So, guys, got about 9 minutes left to get that form filled out if you want a chance to win. Again, free means free. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. You don't even have to be here, right? You can do whatever you want to do. That's why I love the structure that I've got right now. 100% free Discord, not a VIP feeder program, not a course. Free here on YouTube, Kick, X, showing you what real trading looks like for me. And I repeat this often, but I try to repeat it as often as I can. A little bit about me. I don't claim to be the best trader in the world. I don't claim to know it all. I don't claim to have it all figured out, to not make mistakes, to not blow accounts. I don't claim to have all kinds of crazy P&Ls and be on leaderboards. I have some magic strategy. None of that crap, man. Just a regular idiot on YouTube looking to turn a profit in the markets. I think I have some juice personally, which I say often, but guess what? I don't have to prove anything or tell you that because you can just watch it play out here, right? And you might have watched my stream yesterday and said, that dude took an L and he sucks. And he took an L on Friday, and I'm just going to hop on and fade him, right? You have at that, right? I'm never going to dispute you. This is my track record of live trading here. Almost every damn day, everything stays up. Execution shown straight from, real funded accounts. That's my deal. You guys want to hop on and hang out? I appreciate you being here. I'm grateful for everybody that joins. I'm grateful for the community. I really am. You support me by using a code, a link, something like that. I am very grateful. You don't have to do anything. You do whatever is best for you. I genuinely hope that everybody does that. Trading is very difficult as it is. Trying to listen and do something that somebody else is telling you, I think that's a crazy thing to do to yourself. So you do whatever is best for you. All right, we got some responses to the form. Damn, you guys ain't even really filling the form out. There's 100 people across. This is funny. There's 100 people across different socials on the stream. Excuse me. Hang on. Damn. There's like 100 people across different socials, and we got like 36 responses. So you guys got great odds today. You guys got great odds. Hang tight. We'll give this a little bit longer, and then we'll get somebody picked. Again, if you hopped on late, we are giving away a straight to funded 50K account. Form is in the chat. If you want to get that filled out, go ahead. If not, do whatever you want to do. But we'll get a winner picked here in just about 6 or 7 minutes. I'll give you guys a little bit more time. All right, I'm going to give you guys one heads up. If you called out 47 numbers, delete all of them until you have just one left. Go into the chat, because I see some of you have multiple numbers. You're able to have one number. Kingpin, for example, you can pick whatever one of those 3 numbers that you just posted that you want. But you can't have all 3, right? That's going to be the deal. If I see you with more than 1 initially, all right, you're still putting numbers in. Kingpin, don't do that. Pick one number. One number. Go ahead and delete the other ones that you... All right. He's got his headphones off. One number in the chat, guys. One number in the chat. Otherwise, if you pick it, I'm deleting after seeing someone else got it. Yeah, no, it's all good. You can pick the same number as someone else, but pick one number. One number. There you go. No worries. Otherwise, otherwise you have too many. All right, cool. There we go. Yeah, man, this market back and forth, man. Market back and forth. Pre-market shorts on NQ paid me off of that high, off that news high, but even that was dicey. Back to VWAP on NQ, holding above the same way it is on ES. Just looking around the horn, around the markets, as guys say. YM looking real choppy in a range since 9:30 as well. So this just isn't a lot of opportunity here. Nothing too crazy that I see out of this. Probably going to be waiting to see if we extend this range. Not probably, but what I'm going to be looking for later into the afternoon here, guys, I'm going to set some alerts. I sat at the desk way too long yesterday. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to film some videos, do some different stuff. I'm going to try to find something, right? I want to make myself available if my setup comes. I'm going to do that by setting some trading view alerts above and below price. Watch what happens as we start to break out. Could be looking to fade a move, but if we get some really aggressive movement like this, I'm going to be cautious to fade that. Be pretty cautious to fade that. But I'll also tell you, I've been getting a little bit better about calling out some trades in the free Discord. If you're not in the free Discord, feel free to hop in. Like I always say, not a VIP feeder program or, ooh, here we go. More volatility, more comments out of the U.S. political sphere. Oh man, that's a harsh one. Here we go, guys. To the downside, selling off aggressively again. Do we just wick it again? I think we might get continuation out of this one. That's gnarly. CVD dropped off again. Heavy volume. Do we just wick it again and hang out at VWAP? I'm going to laugh if we do. But this feels like we might actually start selling off here. Holy heck, man. Even more volume, it looks like. Yeah, even more volume than that first 1 minute candle sell off. Wow. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to mess with this. I don't need to mess with this. Nope. Not going to mess with this. Not going to look to jump in on this. Very aggressive. This looks like we are going to continue to the downside. Wow. Breaking prior day low. Here we are, putting lows of the session in. Back down towards this overnight low level. We're at an area right here, like I was talking about, 70s to 65s for a long play. This is too aggressive for me to jump in on. Would prefer not to get my face ripped off. Could scalp a really aggressive bounce on something like this. But I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to risk my face getting ripped off on a crazy stop out. Damn, man. Do we bounce here, guys? What do you think? Call it out. Call it out in the chat. You think we're bouncing or you think we're selling off? We're headed right through the 50s and lower. I'm interested to see. We're starting to bounce already, so it's a late question to ask, but yeah, right? So let's see. Let's see what the 70s look like. Right off those 70s, right? I mentioned this level a couple times, talked about potentially waiting. We bounced. We sold off by 3.25 points. We bounced a little bit, bounced back up like 6.5, but this, I don't know if I trust that one. So what says? I think we're going down to buy after that. I think we're going down. Who's going to buy after that dump? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bounce. Lucas says bounce. NQ small bounce, then south. Long. Okay. Someone the count is getting bounced. That's for sure. Yeah. So you guys are kind of wow, gold pushing like crazy, huh, Aaron? Long now. Okay. Yeah, you guys are mixed bag on this. Someone's account is getting bounced, that's for sure. That was a funny one. That was a really funny one. I like that. All right, guys. Only new thing is Trump wants to fire Powell. All right, guys. Let's see what we got. Let's get the giveaway rolling here. You guys have been patient. We're gonna hang out. If you got it filled out, we are going to run. We're gonna run this giveaway. Yeah, more comments. Trump likely to fire Fed Chair Powell soon. No exact timeline for decision. Trump spoke to lawmakers on Tuesday about the decision. Okay. Trump's going to say you're fired, and the market's going to react to that. All right. We have, drum roll. Let's go ahead and close out responses to this. Good job, guys. We got a bunch of people that filled this one out. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Appreciate you being part of the giveaways. We're continuing to sell off. Yeah, not bouncing just yet. Not bouncing just yet. Damn, look at that. Wow. Yeah, that looked like follow through. This looks like follow through, guys. This looks like it could get really ugly. Looks like maybe one comment and then another comment on the same thing or something completely different. I'm not going to try to take that into too much consideration, but this looks like a sweep of overnight low, potentially down to the 6250s. I'm not looking long on this or short, but gun to my head, short as we started to break prior day low looked okay. Maybe a little bounce off those 70s, but take a look. They do not look very good right now. That would have been a stop out for 10 points for sure had it been long off 70s. So too much volatility. Again, I'm not the news trader, right? Or the unexpected comment trader. That's really not my play. And this is just, this is wild to look at. Zoomed out on the 15 minute just to take a look at where we might find some buyers down around this zone for sure, right? Could be below that. I'd say down into this high volume area, right? 6250s, where we've consolidated down here, maybe even the 40s potentially. We really start breaking out to the downside. This could get real ugly. This could be serious, some serious selling pressure to the downside. So not a bad play for longs if it's just a move back to VWAP, right? Or we're just going to flip this. You start taking cheap trades, but you got to be ready to get your face ripped off if you start doing that. Start trying to catch the falling knife. All right. Let's get this giveaway rolled out. Here we go, guys. It's giveaway time. You guys have been patient. We're watching this market sell off. We have numbers. Sorry. We have between numbers 2 and 44. Numbers between 2 and 44. We are going to get the random number generator loaded up. We have between numbers 2 and 44. Can we get the drum roll, please? Remember, guys, this is for a 50K straight to funded Sim Pro account. If you filled it out more than one time, you're going to get banned. Don't do that. And if you picked your number and you win and you only picked one number, not if you just picked your number and you happen to pick your number. If you pick your number and it's your number, you win today. You get a bonus cash giveaway. So let's go ahead and run the generator. Lucky number 17. Lucky number 17 today on the giveaway. Let's see if somebody picked it out before you guys all start throwing it in. Anybody pick 17? No, I don't see a 17 on here, guys. I don't see it. I see a 14 from Mark. Oh, Go Run CH picked 17. Okay. Does he have more than one in here that he's trying to delete? I hope not. Oh, we got somebody with, okay, so we got somebody with a 17. We got one person with a 17. Let's see. Yeah, Randy, come on now. Randy's 17 now. You commented it. All right. Go Run CH. Let's see who it is on this one. Go Run CH. I don't know if it's you. I'm gonna hold you guys. Let's see. Ooh, Go Run CH. You were close, brother. You were number 14 today. All right. I'm not gonna drag it out anymore. Winner today is Azia A. I'm gonna not dox you guys with your whole names. The YouTube username is Zmilli. Zeemilli. Are you in the chat? Zmilli, Azia. That is your name. Can we get the lucky winner in the chat? And a congrats to how I'm pronouncing this person's name wrong. Are you here? Let's see. Can you claim it? There we go. In the chat. Congratulations. You win a straight to funded 50K Sim Pro account. You will get the account. Randy made me laugh. I go, it's number 17. Immediately, Randy comments 17. That was funny, bro. But yeah, Z, congratulations. Thanks for hopping on. Everybody, thanks for being part of it. You will get an email directly from Top 1 Futures. You don't have to have an account already. Whatever it is, don't worry. I'll reach out. I'll follow up with you. If the email doesn't work or something, I'll make sure I reach out to you. Had a couple people freak out. Just chill out. They do sometimes take a minute. They've been really fast, but sometimes take a minute. The account comes directly from them. It's not a code or anything. I give them your name and email, and you get that. For everybody else, remember, guys and girls, we're not done this week. We got more 50K straight to funded Sim Pro accounts to get given away from Top 1 Futures. If you didn't win today, you stand a chance to win next time around. Hop on the live streams. We got more coming out this week. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures, remember, as I'm saying it, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated, I'm biased. I stand to make money as a partner and affiliate. It's important for you to know that, for me to be transparent about that. If you want to check it out and get the best deal for yourself, better than what's on the email, the site, anything else, code RDF is going to do that for you. 45% off, up to 7 copy traded accounts, 30% off for the end of day trailing drawdown and regular consistency rule accounts. That's what we got rolling from Top 1 Futures. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Thank you. We'll do my best. Congrats, Z. Made it good. Yeah, trade well. Take it slow with these for sure. Wolf with the crying face. Yep. Not yet, Wolf. One day. When Wolf wins, I don't know, man. We're gonna have a big party in here when Wolf wins. Chat's gonna go crazy for you, bro. It's gonna be nuts. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Chat, well done. Everybody congratulating each other. You guys are awesome. Appreciate everybody that hops on here. Remember, if you want to hop in the free Discord, I'm going to throw the link in the chat one more time. I keep you guys updated on when I'm going live, when we're doing giveaways, all this fun stuff. 100% free Discord, free live trading. I don't have a VIP or, some special thing that I'm going to try to sell you. I'm going to yap about the companies and partners that I'm affiliated with. But outside of that, we run at free 99. Quick disclaimer, guys. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Trading's risky. Almost all traders lose money. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like Top 1 Futures, Bookmap, RDF, and others. Talk to you guys soon. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day. Trade safe. These markets are wild, man. We're getting volatility all over the place. Hope to see you the rest of the week. We got more accounts to give away. If not, I'll see you in Discord, or I won't see you, and thank you for being here. Talk to you guys soon. Trade well.